You think you're choosing, but something deeper is already choosing you. A woman passes not extraordinary, not divine, yet something within you kneels. Not to her, to something behind her, a shadow older than your language. You call it beauty, but it does not care what you call it. It only needs you to move, to offer, to forget. You feel desire rise like a flame, but it is not warmth, it is machinery, cold, blind, merciless. A hunger not yours, a whisper not yours, a will not yours. And she smiles not because she sees you, but because something in her recognizes your helplessness. You are not in love, you are in service, not to her, to what lives beneath her, to what created you just to pursue her. You do not want her, you want extinction delayed, you want the illusion of eternity, but she knows, she always knows, and still, she plays. You did not choose desire, it chose you, with a smile that promised eternity, but only hid the machinery of reproduction. You have never seen her face, not truly. What you saw was a silhouette thrown by the will the blind, unrelenting force that spawned you. Her voice, her skin, her gaze, they are not hers. They are the instruments of a deeper command, and you obey it every time you believe she is the one. That illusion, that holy fever, that dizzying sense that something perfect has finally arrived, it is not yours. It was never yours. It is the will reminding you that you are only a pawn, a vessel, an aching animal too proud to admit it still crawls. And she is not the goal. She is the bait. You believed in romance once, didn't you? That noble yearning, that soft ache that made the world shimmer. You wrote poetry to it, sang to it, sacrificed your sleep, your peace, your pride. But none of that came from your soul. You were not inspired, you were possessed. The will does not ask, it invades. It stirs your blood with illusions, binds your dignity to a woman's passing glance, and calls it passion. And when she turns away, when she rejects you, ignores you, forgets you, you weep, not for her, but because the will has discarded you. You were useful only as long as you chased, and you still chase. You always chase. You chase the shape of her neck, the echo of her laughter, the perfume that lingers like a ghost. But you never ask who is the one pulling the strings behind your hunger. You think of her when you are alone, not because she is special, not because she is kind, but because she has been placed there in your mind by a force that wants your suffering. Suffering is how the will ensures obedience. You desire her more the less she wants you. You burn for her the more she disappears. And when you cannot have her, she becomes divine. Do you not see the trick? The will doesn't want you happy. It wants you desperate. It does not care if you are fulfilled. It only needs you to continue, to reproduce, to drag this farce of life forward one more generation. It is not morality. It is not meaning. It is compulsion, masked in affection. You say, "But I love her." No, you don't. You love the dream of her, the promise that she will deliver you from yourself. But she cannot. She was never meant to. She is a mirror, and in her eyes, the will shows you what you lack: certainty, power, purpose. So you serve. You build kingdoms, write songs, forge fortunes, all for the illusion that one day she will choose you. And when she does, what do you feel? Relief, ownership, decay. For the moment she is yours. The will grows silent, the game pauses, and the silence feels unbearable. So you sabotage it. You become cruel, cold, you withdraw. Why? Because the will no longer stirs, and you no longer feel alive. It was never her you wanted. It was the wanting itself. It was the hunger that gave you purpose. the illusion that you are pursuing something sacred. But nothing is sacred to the will. Not beauty, not love, not even life. The woman is not cruel. She is simply aligned with the current. She plays the game because she is born into it just as you are. But she does not weep for its injustice. She embodies it. She becomes the prize the will places before you. She does not have to understand. She only has to shine. Her instincts tell her when to look away, when to smile, when to wound. Not out of evil, but because, like you, she is a slave. Her power is borrowed from a deeper master. You call her manipulative, but who taught her to play what wins her survival, what guarantees her selection? It is not love. It is not kindness. It is the mask. The veil she wears is the veil of the will, and it is thicker than your perception. When you offer your heart, she sees your weakness, and the will rewards her for rejecting it. She must protect her lineage, her future, her survival. And so, the soft boy dies. The romantic bleeds. The poet is left to rot. You think you lost to her, but you lost to life itself. Life, that disdains the weak, the sentimental, the transparent. The will wants warriors, not dreamers. You were never meant to be seen. You were meant to be tested, you ask. Then what is real? Nothing. Not in the way you hope. There is no truth behind her smile, no meaning in her touch, no salvation in her arms. There is only the rhythm of life consuming itself in the form of man and woman, chase and conquest, joy and regret. She is the stage upon which the will performs its cruelest symphony attraction, and you are the audience who forgets that it's only a play. You cry when she exits the stage, you beg for the encore, but the curtain does not rise again. She is gone, and so is your meaning. You believed you were the author of your fate, but you were only the page written on, erased, rewritten, torn. You believed your desire made you powerful, but it made you predictable. You believed you could choose her, but it was always her choosing whether you were worthy of continuation. She did not need to speak. She only needed to look. And with that look, centuries of instinct judged you. And yet, you return. You always return, even now. As you listen to these words, you feel the weight of her absence. But it is not her you miss. It is the fever, the blindness, the illusion that you mattered. She gave you that, didn't she? Not with her hands, but with her silence. And the silence is all that remains. What you call love is instinct in disguise, and every soft glance conceals an old, violent purpose dressed in lace. She appears again and again in slightly altered forms, a different face, a different smile, but the same orchestration beneath. Hair that falls in calculated chaos, eyes that hold a question but never ask it, lips curled as if they knew your answer long before you did, and still, you believe it's real. You believe she is singular, that the feeling she evokes is a sign, but it is not a sign. It is a mask the oldest, most rehearsed performance nature has ever staged. And you, fool that you are, applaud every time she enters the scene. Do you think she adorns herself to delight you? No. She adorns herself to weaponize selection. The blush on her cheek mimics the flush of arousal, the dilation of her pupils, involuntary signals that she is fertile. Even her laughter, light as it seems, is not innocent. It is a tool sharpened by centuries of unconscious competition. She does not know this, and yet she plays it perfectly, not because she is vain, but because the will acts through her, polishing her edges, refining her angles, softening her resistance, until she becomes not a person, but a mirror that blinds you with your own longing. You see a soul, she sees a mirror. You believe you're choosing her for her heart, her mind, her uniqueness. But what captures you first is symmetry, not meaning, not virtue, not truth symmetry. The curvature of her hips, the ratios of her face, the rhythm of her voice. All things that speak not to your intellect, but to your blood. You do not love her, your blood does. Your loins do. Your lineage does. That ancient impulse in your spine that has crawled through ice ages, wars, famines, and silence. That is what draws you to her, not her story, not her dreams, but her utility as vessel. She does not have to seduce you. Nature seduces for her. She does not have to explain herself. The shape of her body is argument enough. And when she laughs not at your joke, but at your desperation to please her, the will applauds in silence. It has won again. You are hypnotized, docile, spending fortunes, sacrificing pride, just for a smile that she did not even need to mean. Do you still believe in love, or do you now see it as a trap bait dipped in perfume, shaped in flesh, and thrown before you to ensure you keep moving, keep begging, keep giving? You think your suffering is romantic. That rejection makes her divine, but your pain is useful to her, to nature, to the pattern. When you suffer, you try harder, you offer more. You become more malleable, more obedient, more predictable. The man who suffers in desire is the man who can be controlled, and the will loves control. It whispers she is everything, she is salvation, and so you fall, again, even when you know, even now. The beauty she wears is not for you. It is armor, it is status, it is threat. It says other men want me more. It says prove your worth. It says fight. But she smiles sweetly so you forget. She lets you believe the game is pure, that your words will reach her, that your soul will sway her. You bring her flowers, she brings silence. You write her poems, she posts a photo. You wait, and wait, and wait, until your time, your will, your essence is diluted into a puddle beneath her heel. This is not cruelty, it is biology with lipstick. A beautiful woman is not a gift. She is a weapon forged by the will, and every inch of her is sharpened for selection, not yours, but hers. You are not the master, you are the examined. She is the gate. She is the threshold life forces you to crawl beneath, to pass your genes forward. And she knows. She always knows. Even if she does not think it, she feels it. That subtle pull when a man is desperate. That hidden revulsion when he becomes too sincere. That thrill when she sees one man destroyed by another for her affection. She does not love this consciously, but something in her craves it. Not because she is evil, but because she is alive. You are measured not by who you are, but by who wants her more. And the more beautiful she is, the more ruthless the measure. Your love is irrelevant. Your truth is irrelevant. The animal speaks louder than the philosopher, and the animal says win her or die forgotten. So you decorate your soul in performance. You act stronger, colder, richer, not because it is you, but because the mask must appeal to her instincts. You become a peacock, a predator, a prophet, whatever works, and she sees through all of it, yet still plays along, because this is the ritual, and she too is bound. There is no escape, only awareness. And even that burns. You ask, what if I reject the game? Then you will be alone, and nature will call you irrelevant. The will does not favor rebels, it favors those who kneel. The man who resists beauty becomes invisible. The man who dares to say, "I see the mask," will find himself surrounded by mannequins. You want her still, but she no longer looks your way, because you broke the spell. And no spell, no attention. Even now, part of you still wants her to see you, to notice that you understand, that you are not like the others. But this too is hunger in disguise, a hunger to be chosen, to be lifted from anonymity by her hand, the hand of the siren, the hand of the mask, the hand that only points toward your destiny as fuel for a game you will never master. You say, "But she is kind." Yes, she is kind, and the wolf is warm before it feeds. You chase her not for her soul, but for the lie whispered by nature that through her you might escape death. You were not made to be happy. You were made to continue, not as yourself, but as flesh reborn in another, a name forgotten, a breath passed on. And so you chase her, not because she understands you, not because she offers truth, but because her body is the doorway through which death is delayed. Every part of you that desires her, the trembling hand, the racing pulse, the hunger beneath your eyes, it is not love, it is protest against mortality, against the silence that comes after breath, against the fading of you. You call it affection, you even call it fate, but it is only fear dressed in ritual. She smiles, and you believe you have found meaning. But meaning is the most dangerous illusion the will gives you. Meaning sedates. Meaning distracts. Meaning is how the animal remains obedient to the command reproduce. When she takes your hand, when she whispers your name, when she lets you believe you are chosen, you are not chosen. You are selected for usefulness, for propagation, for your role in the great recycling of life. And your soul, that fragile thing you think is eternal, is not even consulted. She becomes the justification for your toil, your effort, your pain. It was for her, you say, but no, it was for what comes through her. Even if she loves you, it is the will that pulled her toward you, not your ideas, not your kindness, your posture, your scent, your ability to provide. She may weep for your soul, but she will still leave you for a man who can ensure the survival of her blood. She is not cruel, she is aligned, she is the gatekeeper of continuation. The will whispers in her ear, too. And when she chooses or rejects, she is listening to a frequency you cannot hear. And still, you pursue. You say, "If I have her, I will be complete." But you are not seeking her. You are seeking escape from aging, from irrelevance, from vanishing. You want to leave something behind. And she is the vessel. Her body is the chapel. Her womb is the altar. You kneel before her because something in you believes she can make you eternal. Not by loving you, but by duplicating you. But you forget what is duplicated is not you. It is your prison. The same needs, the same suffering, the same endless longing passed on like a disease. You mistake the continuation of blood for the salvation of soul. But blood is not soul. It is the leash. And she is the leash bearer. When she pulls away, when she denies you, when she chooses another, it is the will punishing you, not for your character, but for your unfitness. The pain is sharp because it is ancient, because it tells you that you are not worthy to continue, and so you rage, or you collapse, or you write. But no matter your response, the will has done its job. It has reminded you that your worth is tied to her selection. You believed your life was yours, but she is the one who defines it. Her yes or no determines your joy. Her gaze shapes your identity. Her indifference destroys your will, and she does not even have to try. Her silence is enough. You dance for her, cry for her, Fight for her, not because she is divine, but because the will makes her the oracle of your worth. She becomes death's negotiator, and you are the supplicant. The child you imagine with her, the family, the home is not a dream, it is programming. The house, the marriage, the legacy, none of these are freedom. They are containment. They are continuity disguised as destiny. And once you step into that role as husband, father, protector, you are no longer a man. You are a vessel of survival. You are a beast yoked to the wheel of nature, smiling because she let you kiss her before the yoke was placed. You may love her, you may die for her, but the will does not honor love or sacrifice. It only honors continuation. Your tears are useless. Your poetry, irrelevant. The only currency it respects is reproduction. She knows this. Her body knows this. Even if her mind weeps for you, her body will always choose strength, power, survival, and so you lose again and again, because you believed love was enough, but it never was. You think you are suffering for a noble cause, but you are only resisting the design. You want her to see you, truly see you. But the moment she does, she may turn away, because to truly see you is to strip the performance, to reveal the animal beneath the suit. And the will despises transparency. It rewards illusion. The mask is what she loves, the myth, the signal of value. And when the mask slips, when you cry, when you beg, when you become soft, she feels the ancient recoil, not because she lacks empathy, but because the will commands her to reject weakness. Even your children, if you succeed, are not yours. They belong to the will. They are born not from love, but from necessity, and you will spend your life feeding them, shaping them, only to watch them repeat your despair. They too will kneel before beauty. They too will confuse longing for meaning. They too will be abandoned by softness once their strength fades, and the cycle will continue perfectly, without pause. And still you want her, even now, even after all of this, because the will is stronger than knowing, stronger than pride, stronger than self. It will whisper, perhaps she is different. It will whisper, perhaps this time she will choose you forever. It will whisper, perhaps you are the exception, but you are not the exception. You are the offering. The will devours all. It devours youth. It devours dignity. It devours men like you men who thought they could escape by loving purely. But purity is not rewarded here, only obedience. And even as you resist, as you grit your teeth, as you scream into the void, you know it has already won, because you still want her to come back. You still want her to look at you and say, I choose you. But she never did, and she never will. She only chose what lived beneath you, the instinct, the blood, the potential, not your mind, not your soul, only your usefulness. And when that usefulness ends, so will her gaze. She stands at the shore, and you call her name, but the tide swallows it, indifferent. She does not turn. Her dress flutters like a flag, a signal from something unreachable. Behind her, the sky is heavy with the color of extinction, neither dawn nor dusk, only the dimming of something that once burned. You take a step forward, barefoot, bleeding, still hoping she might hear, but the sand remembers no footprints. The ocean erases all longing. The wind carries no reply. You do not know if she was real, or if she was simply the form your hunger needed. You kneel not in prayer, not in surrender, but in the final posture of a man who finally sees that he was chasing the echo of a scream that began long before him. And as she dissolves into the horizon, you realize she was never coming toward you. You were always walking into her disappearance.